5 secret things women want in bed, but don't dare to tell you. Do you want to give your girl the best sex of her life, the best intimacy as well? Do you feel like you're lacking in the bedroom and she's not as satisfied as she wants to be? Do you dream of being seen as a sex god, but have never felt like that realistically is going to happen for you? Maybe you've been seen as sweet and the sensitive type, or maybe you've been the loving boyfriend, but you also want to ignite a passionate flame between you and your girl. You want her to crave you and feel that heat whenever she thinks about you. And you want to know that she's never been so satisfied before. Well, I want you to listen up because things are about to change for you in this video. I'm Apollonia Ponti, and I am here to tell you everything that you need to know in regards to giving your woman pleasure. And also, I am a dating, relationship, and life coach to help men not only master their attraction skills, but get better with women and also get better with their love life. And also, if this is your first time visiting, I welcome you to click that subscribe button and comment below as well so we can speed up this algorithm and get guys to see more great content like this. So the 3 things that we're really going to talk about in this video is pleasing your girl like no one ever has before, of course. Also, I'm going to show you number 2 is catch her totally off guard and get her attracted to your touch. And number 3, I'm going to talk about how to keep her coming back for more and ignite your intimacy with one another. I've gathered insights from experts, surveys, and real woman experience to bring you these 5 secrets that women are often too shy or embarrassed to express openly. So get ready to take notes and discover how to give your partner the pleasure she desires and deserves. Let's dive in. Number 1 is don't skip foreplay, especially if things are already hot and heavy. Let's start off with the basics. Sometimes when things are heating up and you're feeling super excited, you want to get right to it and start having sex right away. But keep in mind, women are wired differently. For us, the most mind-blowing intimacy usually starts with mind-blowing foreplay. So why is that? Well, to put it simply, women need more time to get aroused and reach orgasm than men do. That means that while you might be ready to jump right into the main event, your partner might need some extra stimulation to feel fully aroused and engaged. That's where foreplay comes in. When you take the time to kiss, touch, and explore her body, you're not just getting her physically ready for sex. You're also creating a sense of intimacy and connection that can make the experience even more fulfilling. Women often describe feeling more comfortable, relaxed, and emotionally connected to their partner when foreplay is involved. Plus, foreplay can help women get more physically aroused, which can make sex more enjoyable and even lead to stronger, more intense orgasms. And that's where we want to go, right? By the way, let's talk about something. The clitoris, which is the primary source of sexual pleasure for many women, needs a lot of stimulation to reach an orgasm. And foreplay can help build that arousal gradually though. But you know what else? Foreplay also plays a super important role in one simple thing that 90% of men neglect when it comes to sex. But before I tell you what that is, I want to take a second to remind you to hit that subscribe button right below so that you can get content like this directly to your YouTube channel. And I want you to comment below and let me know if this is your first time visiting as well. So let's get into it. Number 2 is the build-up. Now, foreplay is a huge part of what I like to call the build-up. And the build-up is an essential part of mind-blowing sex. And so many men neglect this. And believe me, it's such an easy thing to do that makes a huge difference in how much passion is building between you and your girl. So let me paint a picture for you. Let's say you two are texting each other and the conversation is starting to heat up a little bit. You start talking about how much you can't wait to be alone together. And you take this opportunity to take things further and dive into the details of what exactly you want to be doing when you're alone together. You start to tell her that you've even been thinking about her, where you want to kiss her, where you want to touch her. Remember, women are complex beings who crave intellectual and emotional stimulation beyond just physical pleasure, and just as much as physical pleasure. So, as the conversation heats up, you are already arousing her mind. And by the way, this is already a big part of foreplay. And you're creating sexual tension because you aren't actually physically having sex yet. Sexual tension is a critical part of the buildup because you are building the desire. And the fact that you aren't having immediate satisfaction means that the desire is going to grow until you two can actually be alone together. So when you're alone together, you can keep building the tension through physical foreplay until she just can't take it anymore. This is when sex starts to get really passionate. If you skip foreplay and just get down to it, you're missing out on the whole aspect of arousal that could easily have made the experience way more exciting and memorable for the both of you. And here's the thing. The more exciting and memorable the experience is, the more she's going to want it. So my tip 2 here is to remember that women love the passion that builds from foreplay, both mental and physical, but sometimes hesitate to really ask for it because men often seem more interested in the physical sex itself. So number 3 is don't be afraid to tell her what you want. Now, this is an interesting one because men tend to actually hesitate with this. And I'm going to talk about what this truly means. In an effort to avoiding being too dominant or macho, men lose sight of their masculinity, even though their masculinity is precisely what women find to be so sexy. Think about how women are attracted to Henry Cavill and Chris Hemsworth of the world, right? By the way, notice how those two men play superheroes, right? Women are so deeply attracted to big, strong men because they exclude, not because they're big and strong, it's because they exude masculinity, it's because they exude confidence, it's because they exude power. And it's not just about looks here, guys. It's not just about height here, guys. It's not just any about that. I'm talking about the sexiness of confidence and power that women are attracted to. Men who have a dominant presence and alpha male qualities, because it honestly stems from our biology. In fact, in evolutionary psychology, it is proposed that women tend to be more attracted to men who display traits that are associated with high status, power, and dominance, because these traits may indicate that the man has good genetic qualities and will be a good provider and protect their offspring, even if they don't want to have kids. So you can leverage this simply by communicating confidently and assertively in the bedroom. You can give her directions on what you want her to do, like changing positions or where you want her to let you kiss or touch, and tell her what feels good and what you want more of in the bedroom. Especially you can tell her you want her and in what position. Don't be afraid to give her commands in the heat of the moment, like take off your panties or open your legs for me, baby. Trust me, women love this and it drives them wild. They love when you take control and they love when you feel like they're in your arms of being a strong man. Now, in speaking of the importance of how you communicate in the bedroom, I want to tell you about my next tip too. And that's going to go into tip number 4. Before we go into tip number 4, what's really important about tip number 3 is when you are able to say those things like, take off your panties and things like this, it's because we're able to build emotional connection with a woman. That's why if you want to have great intimacy with a woman, for a woman to be totally submissive in the bedroom to you, it's because she trusts you guys. And so this is why I talk about it goes beyond just physical intimacy for a woman. So tip number 4 is she wants you to ask about her fantasies. Women are sexual creatures, and each woman is going to have her own desires and fantasies. But I have noticed that a lot of women are hesitant or too shy to share these with their guys. Sometimes it's because of society expectations of women, but sometimes it's because they just aren't sure how it's going to be received by the man, which is a shame because they're missing out on a whole world of fun together. So here's where you come in. If you two have never talked about fantasies before, now is the time to introduce it casually into conversation. If you see an opportunity, like say you walk by a sex store and you see some outfits, or you see something in a movie where two people are doing something that could count as someone's fantasy, don't be scared to bring it up. I actually have this in my program. If you're having a hard time with your couple or you want to get better intimacy with your couple or with a girl you're dating, I have a yes, no, maybe list. This yes, no, maybe list is in my Master the Bedroom program. I'll put it right below. This yes, no, maybe list has changed dozens of my clients' sex lives in their relationships. And this yes, no, maybe list is a paper that you exchange outside of the house. I always say I have instructions. And there's a whole list of things sexually that you would like to try. And you check yes, no, or maybe. And then you swap papers and you talk about it with your partner. It is a game changer, guys. You will love me and you will thank me afterwards. I'll link it below. So Similarities, if you're texting and things are getting kind of steamy, remember what I talked about that? You want to use this opportunity also maybe to ask about her fantasies. I think we talked about in tip number 2. So tell her that you want to make this come true for her. Next up is tip number 5, compliment her. Oh God, guys, I can't talk about how important this is, and not a lot of men do this. A lot of women struggle with insecurities about their bodies. Probably 9 out of 10 women do. And it makes it hard for women to let loose in the bedroom and truly have this gratifying sexual experience with you. They can be focused on what they don't like about themselves, and this makes it hard for them to get out of their head and enjoy the moment. But this is where you can make a difference, guys. Don't underestimate the importance of appreciating her and communicating to her about what you find beautiful in her. Compliment her when you're in bed together. Tell her how sexy you think she is, or how sexy you think her body is, and how much you think about it. Tell her that you couldn't get your hands off of her and how much it turns you on when you think about her naked. Let her know that you are deeply physically attracted to her, and make sure you kind of show her that you worship her body when you're intimate with her, because you're fully present, and you can do this with your lips and your hands so that she knows that this is true. Plus, another reason why being appreciated turns her on so much is related to physical sensation. When a man pays attention to a woman's zones, right, and responds to her body language and verbal cues, it can increase, the intensity and pleasure of sexual stimulation. I actually, in my Master the Bedroom program, go into this in depth. So I would really encourage you to get that program. I'll link it below. Again, it's about appealing to both her mind and her body. Women get turned on mentally before they get turned on physically, guys, especially when dating and having intimacy after a couple months. This can lead to a greater release of dopamine and also neurotransmitters that is associated with pleasure and reward, and can intensify the feeling of arousal and orgasm for a woman, especially when she's mentally there. Remember, a woman wants to feel like a goddess in your eyes, so make sure you take advantage of these opportunities to create more passion. So, in conclusion, the 5 things you need to remember are: don't neglect foreplay, both mental and physical. The buildup is just as important as sex. Don't be afraid of commands. Find out her fantasies and give her compliments in bed. If you want to take things to the next level, and if you like this video, I would encourage you not only to subscribe, but comment below and incorporate these things into your sex life so you can transform your sex life. And how you can do that is by downloading my program. It's called How to Master the Bedroom, and I go into depth about everything and so much more of what I talked about in this video. And as always, I have the next video right over here for you to continue watching. I would encourage you to watch this next video that I have in the Watch Next playlist, because it goes along with this video as well. And as always, I'll see you in the next one. And remember, you are always loved. Bye for now.